Hi everyone, it's Mike.
And Ravin.
And we're about to finally do Frosthaven now.
Yay!
We got the map set up. And just like all the other ones we do, we like painting the miniatures and doing that part of the hobby too. So we did our own custom background with the trade and did some of the miniatures too that we use for wolves too. The artwork's really nice, but we wanted to use it and gives us a reason to paint up some for them too.
Yep.
So I'm using the Volrath Deathwalker. That's Talina. And then you're using
the Inox Drifter, and his name is Rex.
Now in the book they do a good job of explaining and going through making your own characters. We've already done that. We'll show them what we're playing. We're not going to go through everything we did. We'll just show you a gist of what we have. So you start with 30 gold, and I already used it to get Boots of Speed. That's what the one they recommend.
Yeah.
So she is the Boots of Speed. And her main quest is personally collect 5 different types of herbs, and then she can retire, and that's how you unlock other characters in this too. We'll go through that more. This is just a tutorial, really, mission, and then once you beat the first mission, it opens up, and there's a lot. Like, the box is huge. If you know this game, there's a bunch of crap. So.
Yeah, layers. That box is well layered. So it's called a quest, right?
It's your personal goal quest. That's how you retire your character. Once you do your personal quest, then you unlock like a little envelope or a box, and then that's how you unlock other characters in this game and stuff, and you get prosperity, your town builds.
Right. So my personal quest has to do with building and using your hands, and to get experience, you have to experience the construction of 12 different buildings or building upgrades. And then I bought winged shoes and amulet of life with my gold. So that's what I have.
So there's a little story at the start that we won't read, but we'll read the start of the mission there. And that's how you set it up. And then there's an actual book where you show the layout too. So that's what we have so far. And then the other part of the map isn't unlocked yet. So we'll have to look into the section book, which is that one, to see what's going on next.
Right.
And they tell you have to take out certain cards when you're doing the tutorial mission for this one. So we already did that too. And then the hounds only move 2 and attack 2 in this one. They don't use their actual hound deck for this one.
Ah, okay.
Because it's just like the little introductory mission to show how the game and stuff too.
Yep.
So Raven's just going to read the story introduction for this mission.
Yep. The mission's called Howling in the Snow. You were warned the journey would not be easy, that the weather would sap your strength and beat you into submission, that terrible creatures lurked in the mountains waiting to fall upon unsuspecting travelers in a bloody frenzy. You wouldn't have expected, however, that the most mundane of threats may end up being the most dangerous. Wolves. The howling started last night, signals to the pack that prey was near, and now they have gathered, stalking you as you move through the mountains, looking for weaknesses. This is no time to be passive. You know it's only a matter of time before they strike, going after the slowest, oldest members of your caravan. If you want everyone to survive, you'll need to show these animals that you are not to be messed with, that you are not prey.
The purple one is a snow drift, and the green ones are snow rocks. So the purple one is dangerous terrain or impassable terrain, so it takes 2 movement to go past.
All right.
So that's what we did for snow rocks, and the snow drift is the one that looks like a little snow drift we put there. So that's going to take 2 movement to go by.
Cool.
And then once we unlock that door, we'll build that part of the map.
Right.
And then those are the 2 wolves that are going there. We'll put those on the side to keep track which number we do, because when we do damage, you put them on the actual hound tracker there. They do a lot of good stuff to keep everything organized in this too. There's a lot to it, but everything's very well organized, I found too.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll start the first turn. Oh, one thing we have to do at the start is we have to pick 3 battle goals and then choose one. And that's kind of like our quest to get perks later on. We get check marks to get for our actual perks to add cards to it. Because there's no dice in this. You use modifier cards. And then you can alter them and add stuff to your deck by getting perks and leveling up your character.
Yeah.
So we don't show the other character too. I won't show you what my battle goal is, and you won't see mine.
Right.
So Raven's going to pick up 3 and look at them, and then we'll show which one. She'll show you which one she got.
1, 2, 3. So these are the 3 that I picked up. I think I'm going to take Hunter.
So those are the ones you discarded, and I'm going to pick up 3 too.
All right.
1, 2, 3. So I'm going to take that one.
All right.
So now we're going to start. So we both have to pick up our cards, and we don't pick up from an actual deck. We have a certain amount of, this character gets 11 cards, short the ones that I already put aside because of the mission.
Right.
And then I forget how many are on yours.
12.
And then you minus some of yours already too.
Yes.
So we'll pick up our cards and decide how we're going to do our turn. So I chose to play those 2 cards.
And I put down these 2 cards.
So now what we do is we check the initiative now that we played our cards. You're not supposed to tell you could tell your players what you plan on doing, but you can't tell them the initiative you're going. Like you could say, I plan on attacking this wolf. You can't say what to move. You could say you plan to go this way, that way, but you can't tell them exactly what you're playing.
Okay.
So my initiative is at 82, and your one was at
32.
So, and the wolves, because it's already said in this one that they're going at 26.
Okay.
Normally you would pick the hound's card and it would show the initiative.
Right.
So everybody has a little marker for their initiative. So the hounds are going first because they have 26. I'm going last because I have 82, and you're going to go second. So that's how we're going to know the turn order. And that's the tracker for when we do elements and stuff too.
Right.
And we're in round 1. So the wolves are going to go first. So normally they would draw a card, but they're just going off because it's a tutorial. They're going to move 2 and then attack for 2 damage.
All right.
And then you go in the number order of the standees. We don't have the numbers, but that's why I keep them here. So number 2 would go first and number 5.
Okay.
So number 2 would move 2. 1, 2, right there. And then attack, but there's no one within range to attack. Because it's a melee attack, not a ranged.
Right, so you have to be in a square right next to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other wolf will go too. So they don't get to us. So now that the hounds are done, it's going to be your turn. So now you would pick the top part of your card for your attack, and then the bottom card for if you're moving or something. So you pick one top and one bottom, and that's what you're going to do this turn of the 2 cards you picked from your initiative.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do the top half of this card. So I'm going to attack, and that little symbol beside the floor means it's a range attack, and it's range 4. And the little skull means it's poisoned.
So you get to poison somebody.
Yeah.
So you chose to attack number 2, so you put the 1 damage in number 2.
Yep.
And the poison. So what poison does is next time someone attacks them, they get +1 damage.
Right.
Because they have these cool little index cards that tells you. So all attackers gain +1 attack, prevents healing too. Remove when you healed. So if someone heals them, the poison goes away.
Right. Okay.
So that wolf has 1 damage.
Now we're going to do the bottom half of this card. So we're going to move 4.
And then there's a line, so then there's a stop. So you would move 4 first, and then you're going to do a ranged attack for 3 damage.
Yes.
And then that little X means it gets discarded. It's lost. So that means it doesn't go back into your reshuffle deck once you reshuffle when you rest.
Right.
So those are like your burn cards. They're pretty powerful, but if you burn through them, you don't have any more drawing power with all your cards, right?
Right. So I'm going to use my winged shoes too, which during my turn adds jump to all my move characteristics.
So you would turn it to its side. So then when you rest, that comes back when you do a long rest.
Right.
And you're going to move up and jump over the rock there to go 4 right next to the other wolf.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And the wolves have retaliate, but you did a range, so they can't retaliate if you're not right next to them.
Right.
Okay, and now you have that other attack for 3 damage.
Yes.
Are you going to do it for the wolf that's already damaged or the wolf that's right next to you?
The one that's already damaged.
So that would do 3 damage. And it already has 1 damage on it, and it has poison, so it actually would do 4 damage, and you kill it.
Awesome.
So when you kill a monster, you put a loot there. So if you go into that spot, you would pick one of the loots. And that's what those are. So you would pick up a random, you set up the loot at the start, they tell you which ones to put in, and you would pick that up, and then you would get it at the end of the game.
Cool.
And you can use that to build, once you get to the settlement phase, building actual houses and stores and items and stuff too.
Right, cool.
So now that that's done, you use your cards. Any card that has the X would go into the lost side of your... Yeah, on the other side. And the ones that didn't get lost would go into the other side on your discard pile. Now, the other thing we forgot to do, your first attack where you poison that guy,
yeah,
you have to, it's like rolling dice in this. You don't roll dice, but you have to roll your attack modifier deck.
Right.
So you would have rolled the attack modifier. So you would pick up that card. It would have been +1. So he would have got actually 2 damage. So that goes into your discard now. So you actually super killed him then. And then when you attacked him again, you would have picked up another one. Because there is ones at -2. So he would have been -1. So it makes it tough. You would only have done 2 damage with your attack instead of 3.
Right.
But he already had 2 damage on him and he had poison. So you still killed him. So it worked off, but you still have to do those.
Right.
You just don't go right off the cards. You do the modifiers.
Right.
So then you went. So now it goes to me. So my character plays a lot with shadows. That you want to put shadow tokens on, and then she gets better the more shadow tokens on.
Right.
So you got to kind of build them up first, and then they get stronger.
Ah, okay.
So I'm going to play Call to the Abyss. So during your and your summons attacks, because then eventually I get to summon shadows too.
Mm-hmm.
Before drawing an attack modifier card, you may place 1 character token on the target of the attack. When that enemy dies, place 1 shadow token in or adjacent to the hex occupied. So you kill someone, you turn into a shadow, basically.
Okay.
When you place a character token with this ability, remove any other character tokens placed. So you can't have multiple tokens on the same person.
Right.
And that little infinity symbol there means it stays in play until it gets discarded at the end and you discard it.
Okay.
So I would keep it in play up here.
Cool.
And then I'm going to move 4. So I'm just going to move up to 3 and go land where that loot is that you killed it, and I'm going to pick it up.
All right.
So when I pick it up, I would pick up the random loot. And I got some money.
Nice.
So that will go into my inventory.
Cool.
So that's the round. Although those would come off because number 2 is dead.
Yeah.
There was no elements made or anything. So we would move the tracker to round 2. And now we just do the same thing again. So I'll pick up my 2. Well, I always used to drawing cards. We'll look at our cards and decide how we're going to play for initiative.
Yeah.
So I choose to play Shadow Step and Black Barrage.
And I chose Bloodletting and Precision Aim.
So initiative, the Hound is at 26. I'm at 19. And what are you at?
65.
Okay, so you're going last.
Yep.
I'm going first. And then the Hound's going second.
All right.
I also have boots that if I want to change my initiative increase or decrease, so I could have been at 29 or at 9 if I want to with those boots.
Okay. That's good to know.
But I'm good. So if you played, let's say I had a plan and then you played a card that kind of screws up my plan, I could use those boots and be like, no, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So I'll do my moves first.
Cool.
So right off the bat, I'm going to do my throwaway card. I can move 6, and then I place 1 shadow in the hex you are occupying.
Okay.
So I'm going to move up 6. So I'm going to move up right to where that door is, because I'm going to move up 1, 2, and then it's going to take me 2 to get out of that snowdrift, and I'm going to go the rest of my movement to that door and then open it up. It doesn't cost an action or anything to open the door. It just opens when you land there.
All right.
So I moved up 6, and then I placed a shadow token in the zone I'm in.
All
so
right.
I'm just on top of it now. So shadow tokens can't be placed outside of the map, and you can put them anywhere on the hexes, and they can cover stuff, but they can't go through door tokens.
Okay.
They said. So I can leave that one there, but I can't move through that door now.
Okay.
And they do a pretty good job explaining on your character how they work too. So that's what that all says in there too.
Cool.
But because I opened that door, we have to see what's going on in this area of the map now.
All right.
So it says when door 1 is opened, read section 2.1. So then you'd go to the section book, which is that one, and then we'll look at 2.1. So this is section 1, 2.1, and what's going to go on now?
You've gotten through the more aggressive members of the pack, but that doesn't seem to have discouraged the others at all. These wolves must be hungry, having endured through the entire long winter, but you refuse to be their food. You have greater ambitions than to be a frozen skeleton on the side of the road, picked clean of its meat.
So This is how we're going to set up the map then, now that it shows you in this book now. And we'll set that all up, and then I still have my Black Barrage attack that I can still do.
All right.
So we spawned everything on that side of the map now too?
Yep.
That was the elite one, so you would use, we put it over here, that would be number 6. So they'll do more damage, they do more stuff. So
okay.
That one actually has 6 life, and it retaliates 2.
All right, that's good to know.
That treasure chest is a special one, so if we get that treasure chest we read in the book, to what we might pick up for that one, it's just not a normal loot token.
Okay.
And then there's traps on there, more snow drifts, and more obstacles on the way too.
Cool.
So we'll continue with my turn now. So I'm going to do Black Barrage at that wolf next to you.
Okay.
So I was checking if Retaliate would actually hit you, because you're standing next to it, but it says Retaliate attacker suffer. So I'm attacking it. You're not, so it won't retaliate against you.
Okay.
So it does. If the darkness element, I would do more damage to and gain experience, but there's no darkness yet.
Right.
So I'll do 2 damage, and then I'll pick up my attack modifier. Oh, +1. So I do 3 damage total.
Nice.
So because my Call to Abyss, I would put my character token there. So if that, even if you kill it, it turns into a shadow.
Oh, okay.
If I do the attack, I put my token on it. But if it dies, anyone can kill it. It turns into a shadow.
Okay. Cool.
And that's my turn. So now it's all the hounds' turns, because now they're all spawned. They all get to go.
Yeah.
Because you're at initiative 65, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now we do it in number order. I think the elite goes first, but we'll check. So the elites of the group go first. So the elite wolf will go first and do the 2 movement, 2 attack.
Right.
So that one moved up, and it takes the closest, kind of like when we do Zombies Aside, takes the closest way to get there without damaging itself.
Makes sense.
And now all of them in ascending order from the numbers. So 5 is down there. And we have 2 and 1, so 1 will go first.
Okay.
And then 2, and then the one that's next to you.
All right.
So 1 went, and that one's going to attack me now.
All right.
So it does 2 damage. And then I got to do the modifier. So do you want to draw the monster modifier deck? -1. So it does 1 damage to me. And my character's kind of squishy, so I only have 6 life. So I'll go down to 5.
All right.
And the number 2 would move 2. And it doesn't loot token, so it can stand on the loot token, but it won't steal it from us.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know if there's characters that do that, but these ones don't. And then that one's going to attack you. So that does 2 damage. And the attack modifier for them, 0. So you take 2 damage.
My wound tracker goes down to 8.
And how much hit points do you start with?
I started with 10.
Because you're a little more beefier than mine, right?
Yeah.
And then that's all the wolves. So if you don't want to take the damage in this too, you can also get rid of the cards that are in your hand to negate the damage.
Right.
So you could take 1 card in your hand or 2 from your discard pile to get rid of the damage if you don't want to take it.
All right.
So the hound's good. Went. So now it's over to you. So what are you going to do on your turn?
I'm going to use the bottom half of this card to attack it for 1 because he's right next to me.
The wolf in front of you?
Yes.
Okay.
And then this little symbol on the bottom means wound, which is you suffer 1 damage at start of each turn, and you can remove it when you're healed.
But it's going to kill it anyway because it has 4 hit points.
Yeah.
So you would discard that card because it's not a lost card, right?
Nope.
And then that would kill it. And because that had my shadow token on it, I'll turn it into a shadow, and we'll put a loot token there.
Cool.
So what's the next thing you're going to do?
I'm going to do Precision Aim, the top half of this card, which is remains in play. All my ranged attacks have +1 range. On your next 6 ranged attacks, add +1 damage.
Nice. So that's kind of how your character works. You have like buffs remains in play.
Yeah.
So you would put that, like how I did my Call to Abyss on top for the remains in play. And you would put your character token on the little slot there. And because there's a 1 at the top there, as soon as you place it, you get 1 XP. So you got your first experience on your tracker. Yeah. And that will help you level up to get better cards and stuff eventually too.
Right.
So the next time you use a ranged attack, how does it work? Does it say on your next?
All your ranged attacks have +1 range. On your next 6 ranged attacks, add +1 damage.
So every time you do a ranged attack, you would move that tracker down 1.
Yep.
Cool. And that's your turn?
Yes.
So that's the end of the round. So it'd go to round 3. And we'll pick our cards for the next step. So I'm going to play Fluid Night and Dark Fog.
And I'm going to play Vile Assault and Crushing Weight.
So you said your initiative is 27.
Yes.
So the Hound would be before you.
Yeah.
It's already there. And then my initiative is 24. So same. Be the same initiative this round.
Yeah.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
So also, figure out that's not a spot where it was. So I just moved it over right in front of me.
Okay.
Because that's a dead space there. So that wolf is right there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play Fluid Night. Perform the attack as if you were occupying a hex with a shadow, then remove the shadow. The shadow's right underneath me, so I can attack from that shadow. If I really wanted to, I could attack from that shadow too. So that's what makes this character cool. You attack from the shadows around the map.
Yeah, neat.
So it does 5 damage. I create a dark element with that one. That's what that. So we would go to the element tracker and would bring it all the way to strong.
This one?
Yeah. So now me and you can use that, or the enemies can actually absorb it, because now there's dark magic in the air.
Right? Okay.
So that will one-shot it because it does 5 damage.
Yeah.
And I get 1 experience, but I'll do my attack modifier too.
Cool.
So what do I get? Oh, nothing. So that means you do no damage. And then you reshuffle your deck.
Ah, boo.
Yeah. So that would have done. I had the plan there that would kill it, but I got the Null Card, so that sucks.
Yeah.
So I would reshuffle my modifier deck now. So even though I didn't do any damage, I still put my token on there if I turn it to a shadow.
Yeah.
So that card is gone. I was hoping to turn it into a shadow, because then I could move shadow up to 5 hexes. I was going to turn the shadow I got from it up towards the other ones.
Okay.
But now I can't do that because I didn't kill it. So right now I can move one of my shadows up to 5. I can't move the one in the door, because once it's in the door, you can't move the shadow any fast.
Right.
Closer. And that other shadow, that's the other one I can move. I could do the basic move on the card. They all have that there. So each card can either do 2 attack or 2 move if you want to use it as a basic.
All right.
But I don't want to do that because of that. Because then I won't be able to get that card. I won't tell Ravin what it is, but I won't be able to do that. So I'm not going to do my basic. So I'm just going to move up that shadow right next to me by the door.
Okay.
And then my turn's done.
All right.
So the hounds get to go now. So the elite hound would move 2. And then we would do number 1 that's right in front of me, and then the one that's over there. So the elite moved, and then the one that's in front of me is going to attack me. So it's going to give me 2 damage.
All right.
And then we'll do the attack modifier. Oh, 3 damage. I'll take it. So I'm at 5, so I'm at 2 now. But I forgot too, because I was on host that I was going to kill that wolf. I got a null, so I attacked it. It would retaliate. It would have given me 1 more damage. So I'm actually at 1 now.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I got 1 hit point left. Now I might have to start discarding cards if I want to heal. And that far wolf would move down 2. So now it's your turn. What are you going to do?
The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the bottom half of Vile Assault. So I'm going to move 2. And then there's a line, which means there's a stop. And then I'm going to heal 2.
So you moved up, and you can move into my shadow tiles. It doesn't do anything for you. I don't know, later on, maybe you get bonuses for being in my shadow too.
Maybe.
And then what's the next thing you're going to do?
The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put out Crushing Weight. So on my next 6 melee attacks, I add 2 damage.
Nice. And you get to put your character token on that and get another experience.
Yeah.
So that's the end of your turn?
Yeah.
And now it's going to be round 4. So I only have 1 card left in my hand, and I only have 1 hit point. So I could do a long rest, but that means I'm going at initiative 99, and then I heal 2 hit points. But we got to get rid of that wolf in front of me. So I'm going to do a short rest. So one card from my discard gets discarded at random, and I get to pick up my cards. But I don't get to heal anything, and I don't get to turn over my items if I use them. It's a short rest. I'll pick one of these at random to get discarded. And you can't pick the one, obviously the one that's in play I can't pick. But place 3 hexes. I lost Eclipse. And if I don't want to lose that one, I can lose 1 hit point to choose a different one. But I only have 1 hit point, so I'm not going to do that. So this card gets put into my loss pile. And then I pick up the rest of my cards. Now it's our next turn. So that short rest happens at the end phase before we start the next round.
Okay.
So the darkness would go down to the next level. It's not completely gone yet, but next turn it will be gone.
Okay.
And it's round 5. And now we'll pick our next cards. So like last time, I'm going to try the same thing a little bit. I'm going to do Fluid Knight and Black Barrage.
All right. And I played Sustained Momentum and Unbreakable, but I'm going to use the basic abilities for those cards this time.
So I'm going to go first because my initiative is 24. I think we're in the same one. Wolf's at 26 and you're at 76. So
yes,
same initiative order. So I'm going to go first.
All right.
So same thing as last time. Perform the attack as if you were occupying the shadow, then remove the shadow. Oh. So I was going to do Fluid Knight, but then I realized even though my attack was null, that shadow shouldn't be there because I have to remove it after you do it.
Okay.
So that shadow, I can't do that attack. So that shadow is going to go away. So knowing now that I can't do that ability, I'm going to turn my Boots of Speed now and make my initiative 34 instead of 24. So I'm going to let the hounds go first.
Okay.
So I'll turn my card. So now if I do a long rest, that turns back over.
All right.
Some of those are like one-time use. Some of them, they're persistent. So now the hounds will go first. So we'll do the hounds. So the elite one would move 2. So that wolf is going to attack me. And I'm going to probably discard my card if it does attack me and does damage, but we'll see what the modifier does. Okay. So it's going to do 2 damage. Yep, so it's 2. So I'm going to discard one of my cards to negate the damage. So I can discard 2 from my discard, which I don't have any, or 1 from my hand to negate the damage. I'm going to discard Dark Fog to negate that damage.
All right.
So that last wolf will move down 2. And now it will be my turn. So now that they moved up, I can do my switch what I was going to do now that that shadow's not there. I'm going to do Black Barrage against the elite wolf. So it does 2 damage, range of 4, so I have enough. And then I can absorb the dark to do +1 damage, +1 range, and gain experience.
Cool.
So the dark would go down to 1 more. So now I absorbed it. So now it buffs my attacks. So I do 3 damage at range 5, so I have more than enough room to get the wolf.
Yeah.
And let's do my attack modifier. What do I get? Something good, please. Oh, -1. That's 2. So the bonus I got from the dark negates, so I do 2 damage to the elite. And he doesn't retaliate because he's not next to me. So I'm going to do the bottom card of Fluid Knight. Whenever you would suffer damage, you may instead teleport, that's what that symbol is, to a hex with a shadow, remove the shadow, negate the damage, and discard this card. So that's a good one. I can teleport to one of my shadows.
Yeah.
And now that I have 1 hit point left, that's going to be really helpful.
Yeah.
So that remains in play. And now it's your turn. Okay, so what are you going to do?
So I'm going to move. The first thing I'm going to do is move 2. So I'm going to move through you to the next hex.
Which card are you going to use for moving 2?
I'm going to use 76 to do that because I'm going to do the basic move ability on it. 1, 2. And then with the top half of Unbreakable, I'm going to use the 2 attacks to attack that wolf that's in front of us. And because of crushing weight, on your next 6 melee attacks, add +2 damage.
So you would shift that down 1. Do you get is there a 1 above that one?
Nope.
Nope, so you don't get experience yet. And then you're going at 4 attacks. So that could one-shot him.
Yes.
But do your modifier first. Oh, so it does 4 damage and you still kill it. Perfect. Nice. So that wolf is done. And it drops a loot. So we got a shadow down there now too, because I did hit that one and it turns into a shadow.
Right.
And the loot token's there. Nice. So I got a token on this, a shadow on this side of the map now.
Cool.
And then that's this round. So at the end of the round, did you want to do a short rest?
Yes, I do.
So you discard one card at random. So turn your,
Let's take this one.
Okay, and then flip it over. What did you get?
Vile Assault.
That was a good one. And that's a heal. Now you can choose to take 1 damage to keep that one and pick a new one, or just discard that one. It's up to you.
I'm at full life, so I think I'm going to take a damage to pick a new one, because this has got a bunch of good stuff that I think I should keep.
Okay, so don't put that in the discard pile again, because you already chose not to. So pick from your pile again.
This one.
And that one you have to keep.
If you kill an enemy attack ability, move the character token 1 position slot. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with discarding that one.
Okay. Okay, so then you're going to take your 1 damage for picking a new card, and then you would shuffle, you get your cards back, and the boots still take tap because you didn't do a long rest.
Yes.
So I could take another short rest or long rest, but I do have my remains in play where I can teleport to a shadow if I get hit.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take another short rest.
Okay.
So at random, I lose one. This one. Oh, that's my good one. Strengths of the Abyss.
Yeah.
I do damage with the amount of shadows on the map.
Okay.
But I'm not going to take a damage because I only have 1.
Yeah.
So that goes into my lost pile.
All right.
So I only have 2 cards left. So now we'll do the round 6. So I don't have my boots, so I can't make that 18 because I need to do a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
So the wolves are going to go at 26, so they're going first. I'm going at 28, and what are you going at?
27.
So you're actually going to go before me this turn. So, hounds first. So the elite would go and move 2. Probably close to you.
1, 2.
And he's going to attack you. Oh, there's their null card. They got one too. That worked.
Awesome.
So their modifier deck would get shuffled back together. And the other wolf would move towards you too. So now that wolf's going to attack you. So you take 2 damage. Are you going to take it or discard a card? You're at full life, right?
I'm at 9, but just close enough.
Yeah, and you have your amulet that heals you or something like to your necklace?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at 7 now?
Yep.
And that's the hound's turn. So now it goes over to you. Okay, you're surrounded by wolves. I don't know what you're going to do.
So I'm going to do the top half of Vile Assault.
Okay.
So we're going to start directing attacks at the elite first.
So it does 2 damage.
Yep. And then I have my Crushing Weight,
Okay.
which your next 6 melee attacks add +2 damage. So I'll move that over 1.
And you get experience that time, right?
Yep.
So now it does 4 damage and poison, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that could it could kill it. So your modifier, no, that's not.
Oh, that's not mine.
Yeah, that's your one.
No.
Oh, everybody got their null. Man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so then your modifier deck would get shuffled back up. So unless I read it wrong too, I'm pretty sure even if you get nulled, the effect still goes through. So it still gets poisoned.
Okay.
It's just the damage doesn't go through.
All right.
So now you have the second part of that card.
Which is another 2 and a
Bleed.
wound.
So that card will get discarded in your lost pile. And your lost, that's your discard.
Yeah, lost pile, sorry. And that would move over. Would that move over again? Because it's another attack. So move that over again.
So now you're doing 4 damage with wound.
Yeah.
And then your modifier.
No.
So 3 damage.
Yeah.
But you would add +1 because of the poison. So 4 damage. So you kill it.
Perfect.
That worked out.
Yeah.
So you killed the elite. And that will drop a loot token too. And then you have 1 card left.
So the bottom half of Deadly Shot, which is move 4.
And then you said you want to go see what that treasure is?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, we'll go over there. So you got the treasure, and now we got to look. It says number 47, so we got to look what that treasure is. So if you don't know what the treasure is, it'll be a spoiler if you're sealing it. Seeing it already. A lot of people have already done this mission already, but if you don't want to know what the treasure is, I'm going to show it now.
Yep.
So 47, you gained 5 experience.
Nice.
Cool. And that was your turn. That's pretty good. And I had a shadow marker on it, so that elite turned into a shadow too.
Cool.
And that'll be over to me. So I only have 2 cards left, so I'm going to have a turn with only 1 card.
Okay.
But I'm going to do Dark Fog, just because I want the experience and I want to be able to curse it. That's what that marker is.
All right.
So how that one works is it's range free, and then I get like a little template that I can put it on.
Cool.
So that wolf is within free, so let's see. Anyone in like that area would get attacked with it.
All right.
So there's no one around there. So that one is going to get hit.
Okay.
So it does free damage, and it does curse too. And it makes dark. So dark would go to strong. I would get 1 experience, and I discard the card. So it's free damage with curse, and curse, I shuffle. It's basically like you put a null card in their modifier deck.
Oh, cool.
So I shuffle one of those in there. I'll have to go get one. We're pretty close to the end, but that's what curse does.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to do my attack modifier. Free damage total. So took free damage. It would get cursed. I would put it in. I might go put it in anyway because we don't know if it might randomly show up.
Yeah.
And then that's our turn. I still have the bottom of this card to play. I don't, because I showed you before my goal, I don't want to do the basic. So I'm going to just move all shadows up to 2 hexes. So I can't move the ones through the door. So the ones in there, I'm just going to move up 2.
Okay.
So I just moved my shadows up behind them. And that's my turn. And that's the end of the round. So dark would go to 1 step down. It's going to be round 7. I can't do, if I do a short rest, I'm not going to have any cards anyway. So I'm not going to do a short rest.
Okay.
So I'm on the initiative step. I'm just going to do a long rest. So that means I'm going last.
Okay.
And then you're not going to do a short rest, right? You have cards?
No, I have 2 cards.
Okay. So we'll go to the next round. Now, if I still have that remains in play, that if he damages me, I can teleport to a shadow. So I'm going to teleport to, I move the shadow to the loot bag, because that way I'll teleport and then pick up the loot.
Okay.
So I only had 1 card on my discard that I just did, and I'm going to discard that to do a long rest. So I'm going at initiative step 99.
Okay.
So, and that's it for me. I'm basically going to be able to heal. So I heal by 2 hit points.
All right.
So I'll be up to 2, and my boots would get turned over. So I know I took a long rest, so I'm 99. What's your initiative?
76.
Okay, so you're going second. Hound's going first.
Yep.
So the Hound's going to go towards me because I'm the closest, so it will move 1 slot down towards me. And it's going to attack me. Oh, -1, so it does 1 damage.
Nice.
I can negate that to teleport. Whenever you would suffer damage, you may instead teleport to a hex with a shadow, remove that, negate the damage, and discard this card. Oh, and discard this card, so I can get that card back in my hand. It's not lost. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that.
Cool.
So I'm going to teleport to the shadow that has the loot bag.
All right.
And the loot bag and the shadow would go away because now the shadow's gone. And what treasure did I pick up? What loot? Lumber. Cool. Now go see your turn. What are you going to do?
I'm going to use the bottom half of sustained momentum to move 2 back towards the wolf.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use the top half of Unbreakable to move the character token on 2 of your persistent abilities back 1 slot. I can only move it on 1 of them.
Okay.
So I'll move it back 1 slot.
And you don't get experience for moving back. You get a move experience for going forward. It says on your actual card too.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay. So you're there, and then that's this round.
Yep.
So it would go to round 8. Dark goes in inherit now. I only have 1 card. Even if I did Oh, I'm going to do that again too. I'm not going to do a short rest because I'm not going to be able to do ability anyway.
Okay.
I'll have to choose a card on my discard, which is only one, and I'll do a long rest. And you're going to do a short rest, you said?
Yeah, because I have no cards.
Okay. And you don't need to do a long rest or anything. So
No.
you would take your discards. And then choose one at random. You can take a damage and put that aside, remember? If you want to keep that one because you want to be able to do damage, right?
Yes, I do. So I'm going to keep that one. Let's pick a different one. That one. All right.
So you would take 1 damage now.
I'm at 6. Got my 2 cards.
Okay, and then we'll start the next round. So I discarded that card to do a long rest. So I'm at 5 now.
Okay.
I'm going at 99, so I'm in last. I can't do anything anyway.
All right.
And Wolf is at 26. What are you at?
32.
So the Wolf's going to go first.
Yes.
So first thing Wolf's going to do is it's right next to me. So it's going to attack me. It's not going to move over to attack you.
All right.
So what does a wolf do to me? Oh, -2. So it does nothing to me.
Awesome.
That works. And then it's going to go over to your turn. So you're going to do...
Deadly Shot, which I'm going to attack him for 1 damage at range 4 with
Okay,
poison.
do you have something with range with your range in play?
Yes, I do. All ranged attacks have +1 range. On your next 6 range attacks, add +1 damage.
Cool, so we do 2 damage then.
Yep.
You would shift that down 1.
And it would be at range 5 now.
Nice.
Which
so you would discard the card too?
Yep.
And what's your modifier do? Nice, so you kill it.
Yep.
So that wolf is gone. So that finishes up the mission. We've killed everything. But you still play out your last card. So, your last card, you just want to do a basic move?
Yes. I'm going to use the bottom to do a basic move.
Okay.
And pick up some loot.
So, you can move 2. Doesn't matter which one. They're both...
1, 2, and let's pick it up.
So, what loot do you get? You get some metal. Nice.
Cool.
So, that would go into your stuff. And that's the first mission. We finished it. So it came down to like your last card. That was close.
Yep. Very close.
And I got wounded pretty good too.
Did we both manage to do our perks too? Because you didn't use any.
Well, our battle goal, right? Our personal goal?
Yes.
So my one, they'll never perform a basic action. So I never did. That's why I was not doing my moves with basic. It hindered me a bit, but I still got 2 perks check marks for that. So I would tick off 2 over here. So when you get your third one, I would be able to, like, I can remove 2 of the -1s, replace 1 negative. So there's, each character has some generics that are the same and some are different. Like when you're occupying a hex with a shadow, all attacks targeted you gain disadvantage. That's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then, what was your personal goal?
Mine was Hunter. Kill 1 or more elite enemies, which I did kill the elite wolf, or 2 or more for 4 characters.
Yeah, but we weren't using 4. We were just using 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were... I think you can... If I remember, when I did Gloomhaven, because I went through that one, and I did it solo and did like 4 characters. With filming, I think doing... If we each control 2, it might be a little too complicated. So we're just going to run with 2. Yeah. We might not unlock as much stuff, but it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, you get 1 tick.
Yeah.
So the scenario is completed when all enemies are dead, which we did. At the end, read 2-2 in the book. So Raven's just going to read that.
With enough of the pack slain, the rest slink off back into the white wasteland. But there is no time for celebration, no cheers to mark your victory. You still need to get over the next bridge before nightfall, and all you've done is tire yourself out. The caravan trudges forward. Some of its members nod solemnly to you as they pass, a thanks for keeping them alive just a little longer. This brutal place has not won today, but there is always tomorrow. The little rewards box says, you should now be ready to take on Scenario 1 on the following page in the scenario book. Do not perform an outpost phase until you have completed Scenario 1.
So we don't get to see the outpost yet. And because there's a huge map, we do stuff and unlock stuff. So after we do the next mission, that's when we can actually go to town, and you actually start building your town up and
Cool.
doing it that way too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's a fun game. I liked Gloomhaven too. I didn't play it as much as you did, but
Because I think I played it. I played through it twice actually. I finished it and then went through and then did the pictures for it when we did it a long time ago actually.
Yeah.
It, so.
It's a good game. I think it's fun. I like the cards and the different abilities and stuff, and I like the characters. So it's a fun. I think it's a fun game.
So the next mission we'll go and play it, and then we'll do the outpost after we do that one too. So
yeah,
we'll show you what the map is that way too, and how that plays out.
Yeah.
And there's like road events that happen and everything too. So
one thing that you got to keep in mind with this game, which is something you told me that I don't know if it's important, not to go backwards.
Keep going forwards, because if you go back to try to get the loot in this, you're going to run out of cards. That's what you get. Learn that fast, that if you burn through cards fast in this, it's like this was a tutorial mission, and we both almost ran out of cards, right?
Yeah. So don't go backwards.
Yeah.
If you can avoid it.
And then we'll just keep track of the loot we got and everything, and then find out what happens next when we play the next game.
Awesome.
So hope you liked it, and like and subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.